Welcome back, y'all. You've got the herd coming at you when we wrap here on Undisputed. Good Monday morning, Colin. What's on tap today?
Why do we have to wait to call Patrick Mahomes the greatest quarterback of all time? Bill Russell has 11 titles, Jordan only 6. We didn't wait there. No reason to wait now. He's the GOAT. We'll talk about that coming up.
Breaking news out of the NFL this morning. Kellen Moore reportedly becoming the Chargers' next offensive coordinator. That didn't take long. He replaces Joe Lombardi. Shannon, what's your reaction?
Man, Kellen Moore do a cartwheel. He's like, I get to work with Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, and I get to lead. Man, please, thank you, Jerry. As a matter of fact, he said, Jerry, I don't even want your stinking money.
Man,
give me this money. Look what I got to work with now. Let me show you. Now that I got me a quarterback, 2 quality receivers, I'm in the money.
I think I first guessed this earlier in the show. I said, watch what's going to happen. He'll go to the Chargers because they need a coordinator, and all of a sudden the Chargers will be in next year's Super Bowl as you picked them to be in this year's, but next year you should be on the Chargers.
They'll definitely have a better record than the Cowboys.
Hey, well, with that to work with, so all he did over the 4 years he was my Cowboy offensive coordinator was finish second in points scored and second in yards gained, right?
But he got to take the fall because the quarterback played poorly in the biggest of games. That's his fault.
And I think the quarterback signed off on no more Kellen Moore, even though I thought they were like soulmates.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now Jason Garrett lost his job because Dak didn't play well.
That's correct.
Kellen Moore lost his job because Dak didn't play well. Mike McCarthy, you up.
Yeah,
you on deck.
I don't remember Kellen Moore missing one of those open receivers at San Francisco.
Nah, he didn't.
I don't think so. He called those plays to get them open.
The 40 points in Minnesota, the 40 points in Philly.
Yeah, there you go.
Doing that with Cooper Rush.
Going to be very interesting to have Mike McCarthy calling plays. Great show today, guys. I cannot wait for the Moore have agreed to mutually part ways. That's despite the fact Moore has 1 year left on his contract. According to reports, guess who's taking over the play calling duties for the Cowboys? That would be one Mike McCarthy. All right, Skip. I'm going to start with you on this one this morning because I have a feeling you have a lot to say about this one.
Yeah, I have way too much to say. Shannon Sharp, this morning, I am embarrassed to be a Dallas Cowboy fan.
What?
They just fired an offensive coordinator who was a strength of this football team. They leaked it on Championship Sunday, hoping it would just get lost in all the Super Bowl shuffle of today. But we, fortunately, are giving it all the attention that it so unfortunately deserves. I want you to think about this. Kellen Moore was my coordinator for the last 4 years. Over those 4 years, Kellen Moore presided over an offense that ranked overall second in points scored to Kansas City and Mahomes, and second in yards gained over the 4 years to Mahomes and Kansas City. Is that bad?
No.
I think that's pretty great, right?
Yep.
I just mentioned against Philadelphia, now Super Bowl bound, Kellen Moore's offense put up 40 points. Is that good? I think that's pretty great. I don't remember Kellen Moore throwing a single stinking pass at San Francisco when I think my quarterback missed open receiver after open receiver. I still haven't gotten over it. After open receiver after open receiver. Kellen Moore threw none of those passes, but he called those plays that sprung all those receivers open to me, and Dak missed all those throws. But Mike McCarthy, somehow won the power struggle with Kellen Moore that I think was operating behind the scenes and under the table, because now Mike McCarthy seems to have Jerry's ear and blessing more than ever. And I guess Mike just got tired of me saying in this chair sitting on this show that I don't know what it is that he actually does as head coach. He looks like a bump on the log on the sideline to me, and I guess he got so sick and tired of it, he said, okay, watch this. I'm going to call plays next year. He did call them for 13 long years in Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers, and maybe maybe Aaron is coming to the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know. Maybe they will trade Dak for Aaron, but I sincerely doubt that. But I will remind you that in his last 2 years at Green Bay, Mike McCarthy went 7-9 in 2017 and 4-7-1 before he got fired in 2018. So his play calling was not working. The other thing that just astounds me about this, that I always heard, I was always told from insiders that Dak loved Kellen Moore. So I'm thinking, does Dak suddenly, he had to co-sign on this. He had to sign off on it.
Man, that Jerry ain't had ran nothing by no Dak.
Yeah, I think he had to run it by Dak. And I think Dak said, yeah, I could use the scapegoat.
Let me ask you, Skip. So you tell me you're going to run something by a man that you said you overpaid for him in the first place.
Yeah, but he is the quarterback. And Jerry always says, well, go as far as Dak carries us. Well,
you believe that?
Yeah.
You know you've been around Jerry for 30 years. You believe Jerry actually believes that, Skip?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know what to believe anymore, except that Mike McCarthy now has complete control of this franchise because he does have Jerry's ear. Somehow Jerry loves Mike McCarthy more than ever, as like not a son to him, but like a brother figure. It's become his best friend in the world, and he wants his best friend to have whatever his best friend wants, and he wants to call plays. He wants to show the world that, by God, he's doing something for my Dallas Cowboys. And yet, in the end, it's such a sad day for me because you realize those Philadelphia Eagles I despise, except for Jalen Hurts, but those Eagles I despise have now been to 3 Super Bowls since we went to our last one, right?
Yeah.
They went to the Brady McNabb Super Bowl, right? And then they obviously went to the Nick Foles over Belichick Super Bowl, and here they go again against Patrick Mahomes. It's hard to stomach. It's hard to comprehend. It's hard to swallow the fact that Mike McCarthy ousted Kellen Moore, who actually, along with Dan Quinn, I told you I had 2 sort of unofficial head coaches, and one of them was Kellen Moore. And all he did was nothing but great, and he paid the price for it because somebody, I guess, needed a scapegoat.
Yeah, Skip, but I can't disagree with you because this is what we've seen over the last 3 or 4 years. Dak Prescott got a head coach fired in Jason Garrett.
He did.
He now got an offensive coordinator fired in Kellen Moore.
Yep.
Guess who next, Dak? See, what the thing was, Skip, when I pay $40 million for something, I need to find out why it's not working. And before I come to the realization that what I paid $40 million might not have been worth what I paid for it, let me see if I can exhaust some other avenues let me fire Jason Garrett. Let me fire Kellen Moore. But here's the thing where Kellen Moore should have kept his job. Look at the job he did with Cooper Rush. Damn, Dak. Cooper. You wouldn't even been in this situation if it wasn't for Kellen Moore getting what he got out of Cooper Rush.
Thank you.
That alone should have kept his job.
Preach.
And now Dak turning the ball. Oh, I got turning the ball over. Interceptions and turnovers is not in Dak DNA. It is. Mark Povich say he is the father of those turnovers. 15 of them interceptions with 5 fewer games. And he's led the league in fumbles, and he was finished second in fumbles. So turning over the ball over is in Dak's DNA. At some point in time, you got to come to the realization, Dak is not a top 10 quarterback. And maybe he's reached his ceiling. Maybe he's bumping his head on the ceiling. And either you let the roof off the building or you move on. But Skip, at some point in time, you got to stop firing everybody around him and realize, damn, it's you. I fired Jason Garrett, and you still turn the ball over. In moments, big moments. You pay $40 million for a guy to get you over the hump, to get you like a Mahomes, to get you like a Jalen Hurts. They ain't make it. Jalen Hurts might make $4 million. Hell, he might not even be making that. He's on a rookie contract. He was a second-round pick. But at some point in time, Skip, Jared, you got to come to the realization, and you got to spend. Last year's Super Bowl winner, what did they do? What did the Rams do, Skip? They spent big money, trade, offseason. Eagles, what did they do, Skip? They got A.J. Brown, right? They got Bradbury, right?
Reddick,
Hassan Reddick, right?
Woo.
Well, keep on doing your thing through the draft, Jay. I'll be on the team. We got it.
We do it through the draft.
Okay.
Because I'm the last line of defense on the draft. I make every pick.
They got another draft coming up.
Yeah.
And guess what? You hadn't been to the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl in 28 drafts now.
28 drafts. Watch what Kellen Moore does. Watch him go to the Chargers. I think they're in the market for a coordinator. Watch what he does with Justin Herbert. They'll probably be in next year's Super Bowl. In fact, you picked him this year. You should pick him next year if Kellen Moore's the coordinator because he's going to wreak his revenge on this team. This is just so wrong. And I did, out of my desperation a week ago, sitting in this chair, I said, if I'm the Cowboys, I've seen enough of Dak. He bumped his head on the ceiling that you called from the start. He bumped his head hard on it in San Francisco.
Yeah.
There were so many plays he left on the table that should have been made. If you just give me one of those plays, I promise you we're having a different conversation right now. And I said, it makes sense to me. Let's offer him up in trade. If, in fact, the Packers went out from under Aaron Rodgers, we'll take him for a couple of years just to change scenery. Maybe we can revitalize him at the end of the career and go Brady or something, you know. And again, I'm thinking, well, was this something to pave the way for that? Because he did for 13 years call plays for obviously Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, but he called them for Aaron, and they seemed to be kind of buddy-buddy when the Cowboys played up there. They were kind of hugging and kissing on the field a little bit, right?
Except till he got tired of those plays that he was calling and him getting, getting worked on a Saturday doing walkthroughs.
That's what happened.
That's what's being reported.
Okay, that's what was reported. I hear you, but I'm thinking,